Today, at 15:45 hours, India conducted 3 underground nuclear tests in the Pokhran range.
I have decided to impose economic sanctions against India.
Pakistan today successfully conducted 5 nuclear tests.
There is a lot of pressure, geopolitical pressure. But he took a decision. India will go ahead with the test.
अगर तलवार की नोक पर या एटम बॉम्ब के डर से कोई हमारे देश को झुकाना चाहे, दबाना चाहे, ये देश हमारा दबने वाला नहीं।
The people of the Pokhran region went about their daily lives, unaware that their villages would soon be the focus of world attention. In the afternoon of May 11, 1998, the earth trembled in the Thar desert, sending shockwaves across the world. This is the bomb story of Pokhran. You may be recognizing this face. He is considered as the father of Indian nuclear program, Homi Jahangir Bhabha. He was the one who persuaded G.R.D. Tata to invest in nuclear physics, as a result of which Tata Institute of Fundamental Research was founded in 1945. He even convinced Jawaharlal Nehru that atomic energy would be crucial in fulfilling the energy needs of India and would be helpful in building an industrial base for the country. In its early stages, the Indian nuclear program was primarily focused on developing nuclear energy rather than weapons. Nehru even called the bomb a symbol of evil, but he also said that if we are compelled, we can also choose the option of the nuclear weapons. So what made India think of developing nuclear weapons? The 1962 Indo-China War. This war exposed the military weaknesses of India and showed how big a threat China is. This was the first time that India felt the need for nuclear weapons, and especially after the 1964 first nuclear test of China. At that time, Bhabha said in an interview to the All India Radio that India could build its own nuclear bomb within 18 months. After Nehru's death, Lal Bahadur Shastri became the Prime Minister of India. Shastri ji was very much against the development of nuclear weapons, but soon he softened his stance. Bhabha convinced him that the nuclear explosives can be used for peaceful purposes. After the suspicious death of Shastri ji, Indira Gandhi became the Prime Minister of the country. Soon after, just 2 weeks later, Homi Bhabha also died in a plane crash. After that, Raja Ramanna, who worked under Homi Bhabha, succeeded him, and he was a principal designer of India's first nuclear device. Vikram Sarabhai brought up a plan under which he decided that India would not produce nuclear weapons, but it would retain the option of conducting underground nuclear explosions for peaceful purposes. In the 1971 war, US sided with Pakistan and even sent its 7th Fleet into the Bay of Bengal. Later, in an interview, Nixon mentioned this thing that he even considered the use of nuclear weapons against India. This was a reality check for the country that China was not the only nuclear threat. Thus, in 1972, Indira Gandhi approved India's first nuclear test, codenamed Smiling Buddha. On 18th May 1974, Buddha finally smiled. But why do we say that India became a nuclear weapon state in 1998 when we had already conducted a nuclear test in 1974? This is because the 1974 test didn't mean that India has achieved nuclear weapons. So does it mean that the 1974 tests were a failure? No. It is because that the 1974 tests were a mere technology demonstration, especially to China and Pakistan, to show that India has the capability to build nuclear weapons. We had declared after these tests that these were simply peaceful nuclear explosions and not meant for nuclear warheads or nuclear weapons.
Our science, particularly our nuclear science, is dedicated to development, to achieving freedom from want and providing the essentials of an honorable life for our masters. I repeat that we have no intention of embarking on any nuclear weapons program. We want, as someone has said, to make the deserts bloom and not to make the world a desert.
So why did we not develop weapons from those technologies? This was done to prevent additional international pressure. Following the test in 1974, US, Canada and Japan imposed heavy sanctions on India. All kinds of nuclear related items were banned for export to India, and all kinds of military and economic assistance were also suspended. After the 1974 test, the Prime Minister of Pakistan Zulfikar Ali Bhutto reacted saying, "हम घास खाएंगे पर bomb बनाएंगे." And soon after, Pakistan collaborated with China to further accelerate its nuclear program. For the next 2 decades, India pursued a policy of nuclear ambiguity, where we neither denied nor confirmed us having nuclear weapons. The nuclear program also slowed down, but the development and perfection of nuclear weapons and missile delivery related technology did not stop. Due to several economic and political reasons, India wasn't able to conduct its nuclear weapons test. But we did try. Under the leadership of Rajiv Gandhi in 1985 and under P.V. Narasimha Rao in 1996. March 1998, nuclear physicist R. Chidambaram and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam were given the go-ahead for the preparations of Operation Shakti. In the early afternoon of May 11th, 1998, a group of reporters were hurriedly summoned to 7 Racecourse Road, the residence of the Prime Minister of India. Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee soon delivered a short address to the nation.
Today, at 15:45 hours, India conducted 3 underground nuclear tests in the Pokhran range.
But what was the need for the test in 1998? This was because of 2 global treaties, the NPT, Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, and the CTBT, the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. In 1995, the NPT was extended indefinitely, meaning that the existing 5 nuclear powers would still be considered as legitimate nuclear powers, but the others have to let go of their nuclear weapons. And in 1996, the CTBT came into being, which would ban all kinds of nuclear explosions, either underground or in the atmosphere, anywhere, all kinds of nuclear explosions, peaceful or military, every kind of nuclear explosions would be banned. India was under immense pressure to sign these 2 treaties, but it refused to do so as it felt that these treaties are very much biased. Instead, India proposed a new treaty saying that each and every country should give up their nuclear weapons, even the big 5 ones. But as you know, it was rejected. So when Vajpayee ji came into power, it was one of his first decisions to conduct a nuclear weapons test. Thus, several Indian scientists and some military officials worked under complete secrecy to make sure that the US spy satellites don't get to know what was going on in Pokhran. On 13th May, India conducted 2 more nuclear tests. India had now become the 6th declared nuclear weapons state. And on 28th May, Pakistan responded, conducting its own nuclear test. And with this, Pakistan too became a declared nuclear weapons state. An angry world, led by US and Japan, slammed heavy sanctions on India.
I have decided to impose economic sanctions against India.
But the same US, after 10 years, went on to sign a civil nuclear deal with India. Soon after the test, India declared its no first use policy.
लेकिन परीक्षण के साथ हमने ये भी ऐलान किया कि हम परमाणु हथियारों का प्रयोग करने में पहल नहीं करेंगे. No first use.
India's nuclear capability is the saga of decades of relentless efforts by the country's scientists and political leadership. Its need wasn't just felt for developmental purposes, but it was very much crucial in acting as a deterrent against foreign powers.
2,500 years, any time in Indian history have we invaded any country, but reverse has come. So many countries have invaded us the last 2,500 years. So our work, whatever we are doing for self, that is our national security.
A child desires to become an adult. He tries to copy the acts of the grown-ups. India's nuclear program was a child trying to become an adult, aspiring to become a great power. However, we shall not forget,
with great power comes great responsibility.
The 1998 test made us an adult, but expecting us to perform the responsibilities of an adult too. Therefore, we shall exploit the former, but may not forget to perform the latter, because
now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.